There's no avoiding it, is there? It's a YouTube tradition. Now that the season is over, we are reacting to my 24-25 EFL Championship predictions. What did I say 272 days ago on the eve of the season in my 1 to 24 list? We are going to find out because I have enough balls to hold myself to account, unlike some of you cowards in the comments, for what I said. We're going to go back and have a look, and we've got it all mapped out here. These are the number of positions I was out on every single team in the championship. There's some good ones. Look, that's a quarter of the league there. Either bob on or one place out for me. I'll take that. You're not interested in that, are you? You want to see, pointing the wrong way, who I was 13, 16 and 19 places out with my predictions. Let's get into it. Get in the comments, and if you've got big balls yourself, you'll tell me which ones did you get completely wrong. Who caught you out this season? Let me know. I'm going to press the button and we are going to do the fun bit first because I've got 3 bob-on predictions to tell you about. And look, by God, I got the top 2 nailed on. I had Leeds first, I had Burnley second, and I had West Brom 9th. That's right, you can all applaud me in the comments for those 3. And would you like to see a clip of what I said about Leeds before the season started? And for all you complete buffoons who struggle not to just say what you see, Gareth, yes, I've lost a bit of weight. My face looks a bit more round 272 days ago. You can compliment me in the comments. And yes, my beard has got a bit more grey in the last 272 days. Even if you are a faceless troll commenter, you are also subject to aging. And I apologise. You don't now need to comment on that stuff. I know people will. But there you go. I've done it for you. What did I say about Leeds United pre-season? I back Daniel Farke to get Leeds over the line, and I back the Leeds higher-ups if and when Somerville does go to spend the 20-30 million that they're probably going to get for him on 1-2 players, maybe then another loanee to pad out that squad, and Daniel Farke to deliver yet another 90-point season. There you go. I'll take that. They're going to sell their best player. They hadn't done that at the time I was talking. They did. They replaced pretty well, didn't they? Signed Rodon full time. Manor Solomon came in. He's the guy that scored the title-winning goal as well. Ramazani, not so sure, but Bogle was a really good signing as well. Did I mention Rodon full time? And a 90-point season for Farke, another one. 100-point season. There you go. I had Burnley second as well. So top 2, bang, bang. Happy with that. West Brom, I mean, I had them 9th. You've got to admit, I didn't foresee the kind of direction of travel that we've got, where they were really good at the start of the season. Looked like they were getting the playoffs. Corberon left. Mowbray came in and they dropped out and landed in 9th where I said they would, rather than necessarily stagnating there all season. But there you go. 3 bob-ons. And as I said, I also have 3 teams there, 1 place out, which does mean I have 1/4 of the league within 1 place. And I've been doing this a lot of years. I'll take that. I'll bite your hand off, as the horrible football cliche goes. There you go. I was 1 place out with Bristol City, Coventry and Norwich. Now, I'm really pleased with this Bristol City prediction. So let's go to a clip. So I've gone for Bristol City to jump up 4 places. It's a gamble on Liam Manning. He did a grand job getting MK third. He had Oxford really going. It's a bit of a gamble. I've got nothing more than a hunch, but hey, it's all the fun of the predictions. There you go. Bristol City was 6th. I said they would be 7th. They're 1 place higher. And I remember at the time, I'll link the video at the end of this one, lots of people said, what are you on about, Ben? Having Bristol City so high up in the table. And I'll take it. It was a gamble on Liam Manning. Yes, 68 is very low for 6th place, but they are there on merit. Coventry's a weird one, isn't it? Because I had Coventry finishing 4th. they've actually finished 5th. But, God, if you'd have asked me, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, I would have happily revised that prediction and chucked it in for about 5-10 places lower. But they zoomed back up the table and that squad has worked. And Norwich finished in 13th. I said 12th. Pretty much there. I thought it'd be a season of transition, but I didn't see Johannes Hoth-Torp being sacked because of it. So there you go. 3 bob on, 3-1 out. Here's a couple that are 2 places out. I've got Sheffield Wednesday and Darby. So Sheffield Wednesday finished 12th. I said 10th. We're all right there. 2 places lower than I thought. I still think that's a pretty good job by Danny Roll. Will he still be there next season, given the eccentricities of Wednesday owner Mr. Chansiri and what fun it is to work for them? Derby, I mean, wow. They have finished in 19th. I thought they'd be 21st, so I'm happy enough with the fact that I thought Derby would survive just. It was just. I don't know if there was a point in the day today when they dropped lower than that, so they were very close going into the final whistle at the end of the season. But with Derby, it's all about John Eustace coming in to take over from Paul Warne and rescuing them. It could have been even closer to 21st, as in below 21st, but I was 2 places out, and I will take that very much. Right, 3 places out. Who are they? Sheffield United and Plymouth, and we have a clip as it pertains to Sheffield United. I think they're still going to have enough. I understand the doubts and people saying they're kind of the least well-placed of the 3 relegated teams, but I just still think they're going to have enough of a powerful punch to kind of knock their way into the top 6. There you go. There were quite a few doom and gloom predictions for Sheffield United that they were going to come down, and even with the year 1 parachute payment, that it was a bit too chaotic and they were going to struggle. And was Chris Wilder the old Chris Wilder? Well, I think they exceeded a lot of people's expectations in that regard. So I had the Blades finishing 6th. They actually finished 3rd. A lot of what I said, I'm pretty happy with, that in the end, they will be too powerful. And yeah, Wilder's had a really, really good season. He's got 90 points with the deduction, obviously. On pitch, they've scored 92, so 2 points per game. In the new world, is apparently not enough anymore with 2 teams getting 100. Plymouth, look, I'm 3 places out, but obviously it's 3 big places because I predicted Plymouth to survive. They have gone down, and I also predicted that they would survive with Wayne Rooney, as in not changing manager and getting out of Dodge. So I'll hold my hands up on that. It didn't work out for Wazza. He must be a busted flush now after the Birmingham and Plymouth incident. So even though I'm 3 places out, I've got to be honest, it wasn't a great prediction given the nuance of what I actually said. Right, 4 places out. So I'm putting it in best because, just because I wanted to even it up. But fairly close, but no cigar on Watford, QPR and Stoke. So Watford finished 14th. I said 18th. There were points in the season where that was looking like it was going to be miles out with Tom Cleverley doing well. I think the longer we went, the closer they were going to get to my A team. So in the end, it kind of worked out somewhere near where I said. QPR were 15th. I said 11th. So they've actually underperformed what I thought by 4 places. And I thought Cifuentes would be in and around where Danny Roll is. We seem to have not been able to separate those two. But Cifuentes, we've seen the falling out now with QPR. He's on gardening leave and it just has not worked out, has it, in that regard? So QPR 4 under where I thought they'd be. Stoke, I mean, it's typical, isn't it? It's just kind of their spiritual home in the Championship. They have finished 18th. I said they would be 14th. You're kind of always hedging your bets with Stoke around there. Mark Robbins is in, and like we do at the start of every season, in about a few months' time, I will say, oh, is this going to be the one where Stoke challenge after they've signed a few players and we like Mark Robbins and all of that good stuff. So there you go. Right, here it comes. We can disregard the best side of that that graphic there, and we are moving to the worst side. And who was I 5 and 6 places out with? Borough and Pompey. I'm disappointed with one. I'm pleased with the other because it means Pompey have survived, obviously. So Middlesbrough finished 10th. I thought they would finish 5th. And I'm a bit disappointed with Michael Carrick. And I know some of the Borough fans are as well. The narrative has run that he was amazing in his first kind of part season there. Nearly went straight into the Premier League, playing a brilliant brand of football. His team got pillaged. So I and many other people, including the Borough fans, well, many of them, gave him a pass for last season because, you know, he lost Archer and Akpom and Ramsey and Giles and etc., etc. But new team, rebuilt, and just been a bit flaky, haven't they? And they finished in 10th. I thought they would be in the playoffs. They are not, so I'm disappointed. But I am very pleased to say that I was 6 places out with Pompey. Ergo, I predicted Pompey to get relegated, and they have survived. So more power to Pompey. All 3 League One sides have survived this season, which is probably going to stitch up a lot of people in their predictions. But well done, Pompey. Absolutely fantastic. They had a horrendously difficult start to the season with both fixtures and injuries. I think there was a point after like 8 or 9 games where you looked at their fixture list and they'd played the entire top 8 of the league. And John Massinio's done a fantastic job leveraging home form and getting Pompey away and up to 54 points. And without quite such a high tide, that'd probably get you much, much higher in the table. But this is where we are with the way points are being distributed in the Championship. So well done, Pompey. And Borough, I'm a bit disappointed. Must do better, and we'll see what that means for Michael Carrick going forward. Right, wrong way again. These are getting worse now. 7 places out, which is over 1/4 of the table on these 3 teams. Oxford, Preston, and Cardiff. And we have a clip for Oxford for one big reason. I predicted Oxford to finish bottom. Yes, you could get Newcastle smell and some momentum and away they go. I don't see it like that. I see it being the other way. They're not quite going to be ready. They've been a bit busy in the transfer market, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think it's going to be a tricky one for Oxford. Maybe they can yo-yo and come back. But look, good luck to them there, Oxford fans. But I hope I'm wrong. I've got them bottom. Yeah, so I thought Oxford were in for a big struggle. It's always difficult for the team that wins the playoffs, isn't it? They've got far less time to prepare, and Oxford hadn't been in the Championship for the longest time. I was right about the Newcastle smell, and Des Buckingham got momentum at the start. Very easy to sit here and be wise after the event. If you saw my hot takes video from a while ago, you know that Oxford have had a wild season, haven't they? Where I think they, over periods of the season and fairly substantial periods, that I think they've gone like 8th, 24th, 1st, 24th, like 7th or something like that. So the direction of travel's been all over the place, but the key was obviously Gary Rowett coming in and kind of rescuing them, even though they had a bad run after. But clean sheets, can you win home games? Hellick, brilliant. He scored again today. And I said, I hope I'm wrong. And there you go. Well done, Oxford. Absolutely brilliant. 7 places above where I thought they'd be in 24th. Preston, look, they finished 20th. I said they'd be 13th. And I think a lot of people will have Preston a lot lower in their predictions next season. I kind of panicked a bit at the start of the season and thought, I've got to put Preston in the middle. Everyone kind of says this will be the season they drop down, and they never do. Well, it was the season they dropped down, and they could have been relegated today, but great performance away at Bristol City on final day to take a point and get out of Dodge. Well done, Preston. Cardiff, I thought would be safe. We've said many, many times on this channel that the things that relegate clubs, owners, size, chaos, bad luck. And if it keeps on raining, the levy's gonna break. And I think Mr. Tan and owners relegate clubs. Again, we're in a season where Cardiff essentially have had 3 managers, haven't they, with Baloo and Rita and Aaron Ramsey finishing the season, for God's sake. Cardiff have finished bottom. Is it chickens coming home to roost? They are down. I thought they'd be all right because I think Baloo did a good job last season, but he didn't last. He was out. Cardiff bottom, 7 places lower than I thought they were going to be. Keep pointing the wrong way. It's hard to do this mirrored. I normally put it that side as well, and I've got stuff both sides. 8 and 11 positions out. Here we go. Millwall, Swansea, and Sunderland. So, look, Millwall, I thought they were really struggling, weren't they? The Joe Edwards thing didn't work last season. They brought Neil Harris in and they got that massive climb up. And my argument was that that wasn't really going to be able to sustain, and, you know, they would kind of be in the bottom half, and I had them in 16th. However, they have finished 8th, 8 places above where I thought. So well played Millwall, who continually punch their way or above under a series of managers. Now, Harris did go out. They didn't quite struggle to the extent I thought they would. And Alex Neil's done a really nice job to take them to 8th in the end. So well played, Millwall. When it comes to Swansea, they finished 11th. I thought 19th. And there were long parts of the season I thought I was going to be right. And really, it's only a great interim. Well, he's got it permanently now, hasn't he? Interim work by Alan Sheehan and a big win streak towards the end of the season to take them up the table. So yeah, a bit of a fair win there, but it is what it says it is, and I am 8 places out. I thought Swans would be 8 lower. And what about Sunderland? Hey, point the wrong way again, sorry. We've got a clip for what I said about the Black Cats at the start of the season. The squad is very, very young and needs knitting to get it. If he immediately gets them going, that's a great job. There's so much potential there, but I'd imagine there might be the odd sale before the window closes. And I think if Labrie is going to be a good manager at Sunderland, it may not be this season. It may be 18 months, 24 months down the line. So I've got them up 1 place, but only 15th for the Black Cats. Well, there you go. I'm a long way out with the positions, but a lot of what I said was pretty bob on, wasn't it? I said it's a young squad with loads of potential, and if Regis Labrie gets them going very quickly, that is a great job. And he did do a bloody great job, didn't he? Because they were in the title race all the way up to pretty much February, and probably the defeat at Ellen Road kind of ended it, didn't it? So, look, I thought it'd be a season warming in, and where were they? Like 16th, and I said they'd go up 1 to 15th. Turns out they finished in 4th position. So I had Sunderland. I thought, look, I can't be wise after the event. I thought they'd go up towards the playoffs. I can't say I thought they'd do what they did this season, next season, if you know what I'm saying. But I didn't think it would be immediate, and it was. So fair play. We knew nothing about Regis Labrie in terms of English football work, and he just did really well straight away. That caught me out. There you go. I will hold my hands up to that. Well done, Sunderland. Good luck in the playoffs. Are you ready then for the complete bloody clangers? The worst 3 predictions I made in my 1 to 24s this season. By process of deduction, you know what these teams are. But let's attribute them to 13 places out, 16 places out, and, Jesus, 19 places out. Oh, Hull, Blackburn, and Luton. 2 sides there who finished way lower than I expected, and 1 who finished way higher. Look, when it comes to Hull, they have finished 21st and avoided relegation on goal difference, for goodness sake. I thought they would finish 8th. If you wind your brain back, I think they were there or thereabouts last season, and Liam Rossini was then sacked, having just missed the playoffs with Mr. Ilachali regularly, the owner there at Hull, making lots of signings in each and every transfer window. Unfortunately, a dreadful managerial hire, Tim Volta replacing Liam Rosinia, who's done really well over in France, I think, is it? Rosinia, and Volta was dreadful, awful, didn't work at all. He left Hull in a right pickle, right down at the bottom of the table. And even though Ruben Selles had a really good second half of the season, so did Portsmouth, so did Oxford. Derby had a massive surge. Luton even had a massive surge. And Hull were up to their necks in it right until the end of the season. So look, it's a big underachievement by Hull. I'm not ashamed of predicting them to finish 8th. I think their squad is way better than 21st, but I think they've grossly underperformed, and that has made me miles out with my prediction. Blackburn Rovers, I predicted to be relegated, and when Yuki Ahashi scored that goal in round 46 to give them the lead at Bramall Lane, they were actually in the playoff spots. That would have been something, wouldn't it? Oh my God. So look, Blackburn cascaded down the table at the end of last season, and the goals of Sammy Smodics kept them in the division. And it was fairly obvious after that interview Smodics did with Big Sam on his podcast that Smodics was going to leave. So my argument was that Venky's couldn't get any money out of India. Smodics was going to leave. He propped them up. He kept them up. But I underestimated that bloke in the dugout, John Eustace, didn't I? So I thought Blackburn would have a chaotic season. Eustace would get fed up of Venky's and they would get relegated. Well, Eustace got fed up of Venky's and ran off to go and do the Derby job. But Big Val, I thought they were going to finish in the middle of the table. But he had a big surge towards the end of the season after coming in there. Nearly got playoffs in the end, which left me 16 places out with Blackburn. Horrifically bad prediction, wasn't it? I said they'd go down in 23rd. They finished 7th, just outside the playoffs. And there has to be one every season. I don't think that's my worst ever prediction. I think there was a season where, did I have Huddersfield like 20 places out? Checking the archives on the channel. But Luton, 19 places out. And of course, we have a clip. I think Luton are going to be steady and reliable as ever. They're going to ride out the squad that got relegated last season. They're going to be a monster at Kenilworth Road, and Morris and Adebayo are going to be a right handful up top. A lot to like about Luton, but I've got them in 3rd. God, it's horrible listening back to it, isn't it? Look, they're going to be a monster at Kenilworth Road. Well, it was away from home that really stitched Luton up, but they weren't a monster at Kenilworth Road. And someone tell me in the comments how many goals Adebayo and Morris scored. It wasn't very many. Certainly, I think they both like nearly on 20 when they got promoted, wasn't it? Like 40 goals between the pair. But yeah, they haven't scored any goals. And Luton, steady and reliable? Nope, absolutely not. And it seems now that if you are promoted, even an unlikely promotion like Nottingham Forest got, like my team Ipswich got, and like Luton got, you have to go into the Premier League and spend your money on assets that you can come down with to then leverage. If you don't do that, and it's been an unlikely promotion in the first place with Luton in terms of budget, nowhere really near, even in the season they did get promoted, the top spenders there. It's not enough, is it? And they've come down. Have they massively cashed in the parachute payments? Not really. It feels like they're saving them for the new stadium purchase. And yes, a lot on McGuinness. Yes, a lot on Isaiah Jones. I think, a few more signings of, not insubstantial money. Look, don't mischaracter me. Luton with their squad should have stayed up. But bit of a disaster. And what I've said many times on this channel is a sharp rise in football is often followed by a sharp fall. And Luton, they went with Rob Edwards. It was going wrong. Maybe they stayed a little bit too long. Matt Bloomfield took a little while too long to get going. Great run at the end, but it has been a high tide season. They've been relegated on 49 points on goal difference, with all 3 League One teams staying up, and with that surge from Derby at the end of the season to go past them as well. It's been a disaster for Luton. My prediction is a disaster. 19 places out on Luton. I said they'd be 3rd. They were relegated in 22nd. Wow. There you go, guys. That is me reacting to my 2025 predictions. Look, it's a fascinating time capsule. And yes, I do have big enough balls to hold myself to account and go back and look at what I said. I am really pleased. I got the top 2 bob on. Leeds 1st and Burnley 2nd. West Brom, bit flukily, I got in 9th, I'll admit. And I got a quarter of the league within bob on or 1 place. And a third of the league within a couple of places. So I will take that. Top 2, bang on. I got 2 out of the 4 playoff places. I'm really close with Bristol City in 7th as a bit of a gamble pick as well. So happy with my playoff work. Obviously heavily let down by Luton, who I thought would be in the playoffs, and Middlesbrough, who didn't get in there. I did have Sheffield United and Coventry. Relegation, though, got it all wrong. I had... who did I have going down? Blackburn, Oxford and Pompey going down. So 0 out of 3. In the end, obviously, it was Luton, Cardiff and Plymouth dropping. That's about the size of it. Get in the comments. You can say what you like. Freedom of speech ahoy about any of my predictions. Good or bad. I'm kind of a bit more interested in your thoughts from before the season. And if you did type them in the comments on my 1 to 24 predictions video, then we can go back and have a look. Which teams did you get bang on? And maybe avoid the predictable ones like I got with Leeds and Burnley, who were always going to finish up there, weren't they? Which surprise ones did you actually get right and forecast? Like Bristol City, that's probably my best prediction, I think, of this season. And which ones were you massively out on? I think Blackburn's a killer there for me, and I think Luton is going to be a killer for lots of people. Of course, I will put right up there, right now, my 1 to 24 predictions video from 272 days ago, August the 4th, 2024. So much has changed. That is what I said then. This is how it all played out. Another season gone. That is me reacting to my 2024-25 Championship predictions. Oh, glad that's over.